The Tennessee Senate Government Operations Committee wants to remove and replace all of the Board of Trustees at Tennessee State University. The vote fell along party lines, with all of the Republicans on the committee voting in favor of vacating and reconstituting the board, and the two Democrats were opposing. Now, one of those who voted against the measure joins us now. Tennessee State Senator Charlane Oliver joins us from Nashville. Senator Oliver, glad to have you here. So we talked about this on yesterday, and here's what is strange to me, and I saw a news conference where you and others were talking. So here they are, they ordered, Controll did a report, they ordered an audit. How do you get rid of the people before the audit comes back so you know what the audit says?
That's the million-dollar question, Roland. That's something that I urged my colleagues on the committee to do, to delay the vote until the forensic audit comes back. But what I suspect is they may not find anything in the audit that points to any malfeasance or nefarious activities on behalf of TSU.
Right. So, I'm trying to understand. Again, I'm looking at this here, and it's not. First of all, the TSU has had an independent board for what, just 7 years?
Right. Under the Focus Act, it gave TSU the authority to have its own independent governing board outside of the Tennessee Board of Regents. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that is the action of the legislature. But what we're also seeing is the inaction of the legislature and to hold up its end of the bargain. We're here because of historical underfunding. My Republican colleagues only want to see one side of the coin, and that's the, quote, mismanagement of funds and the disarray of operations that Tennessee State University finds itself under. But they don't want to own up to the fact that we, as the legislature, have not done our part to fully fund Tennessee State University to the equitable level of our other land-grant institution in this state, which is a predominantly white institution.
Well, what I don't understand is a report was done that showed that they're owed $500 million. How the hell can you complain about dormitories and other problems when you haven't given enough money?
Correct. And the $544 million is just one bucket of money. We also have other state appropriations that amounts to over $2.1 billion dating back 30 years that the federal government said we haven't given them. I've looked in the budget books in the law library. TSU is not named in the budget going back years, in the 50s. So yes, this is what we're dealing with. And we know that they're trying to move the goalposts because they have this money hanging out here and they're trying to find every reason, in addition to our comptroller, a reason not to hand over the money that is owed. It
boggles the mind. And, you know, what do you think is really at play here?
Well, you got to, again, understand the larger context. We are in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville is booming. It's a growing city, and there is commerce here. Nashville is the economic engine of the state. We bring in the most revenue, and so TSU positionally sits in a place in North Nashville that connects our larger suburban area to our downtown area. And so that area of town has a lot of developing areas that developers have their eyes on. And as a land grant institution, we have land over there. Again, to have people on that board that is going to be cronies for the legislature and the governor is the last frontier for them to try to have a land grab and a power grab with the money.
I remember we showed one of the hearings where you had a committee member that was complaining about the explosion of growth at Tennessee State, demanding, you know, why are these students going here and not the other schools? It seemed that they are jealous of the fact that these black students want to go to Tennessee State and not these other state schools in Tennessee.
Right. When you take in consideration that extremist Republicans are coming after elite institutions because of affirmative action, where do you think those students are going to want to go? They're going to want to come back home to their HBC institutions, and so they can have our flagship HBCU recruiting more people than University of Tennessee and other institutions in the state. So yes, that's exactly right of what they don't want to happen.
My pal Michael Imhotep hosts the African History Network show, our Detroit Matt Matt Manning, civil rights attorney out of Corpus Christi, Kelly Bethel, communication strategist out of D.C. Questions for you. Kelly, you first.
Sure. So Maryland had a similar issue regarding HBCU discrepancies in funds versus the PWIs in the state. When it comes to Tennessee State being a flagship school, can you expound upon exactly how much of a discrepancy there is between TSU and the other PWIs in the state?
Yes. So currently, we are basing our funding off of enrollment, and so it's UT gets about $15,000 per student. TSU gets about $8,000 per student. So there is a huge discrepancy when you think about enrollment. UT is a significantly larger institution, so by default, they're going to get more money. But because of the 1890 Morrell Act, we are supposed to get a one-to-one match. So we are historically being, there's a disparity year over year, and that number continues to grow.
Michael?
All right. Thanks for coming on and sharing this with us. I know in February of this year, I think the state of Tennessee allocated $2 million for another in-depth audit of TSU. How would you have liked better those funds to be allocated? And also, another quick question I had is, what has been the response from alumni of TSU to this attack?
Yeah, the $2 million forensic audit is just another hurdle that's been put in place to try to find discrepancies in the administration and the board. Of course, we could have used $2 million to go straight into appropriations for TSU. We also have the $544 million that's still sitting out there. Of that money, a little over $250 million has been appropriated 2 years ago. So we're still waiting on the other half. So yes, that $2 million could have been coupled in with the other half instead of trying to spin our wheels looking for problems. The alumni, the students, faculty are all united in the sense of we see this for what it is. Our legislature has a pattern of attacking Black leadership in this state. You saw it several months ago with the Tennessee 3 and the two Justins expelled. So this is not new, and so we see this for what it is, and they're holding the line to say we have to fight back on this. We can't continue to attack us on things that you're not treating the other institutions fairly. They're treating us unfairly in comparison to the predominantly white institutions in the state. So yeah, the alumni want to see the funding come along with, some structure with the university.
Matt.
All right, thanks, State Senator.
Matt.
Thank you, Senator. My question is kind of a logical extension of Michael's. And the question is, I know in 2017, 6 of the schools were broken off into their own individual local boards. So like TSU has its board. What has been the level of scrutiny and audit on those other 5 schools? Because I'm interested in seeing how they're correlating TSU's alleged issues with the other schools that are now, a part of their own independent governance. What's that interplay and level of scrutiny been for those other schools?
I can't speak to that wholeheartedly, but I can tell you that the level of scrutiny is not balanced. These issues are not new. University of Tennessee, Knoxville also has housing issues currently right now. They've had housing issues for as long as we have, but they are not been put under the microscope, if you will, to the level that Tennessee State University has. UT Southern has also had audits that have come back with multiple findings. So again, we're asking the question of why is Tennessee State University being put under such scrutiny when you're not holding the other universities to the same level that we are.
All right. So when does the vote take place? Obviously, this is Senate. It has to be voted upon by the full Senate. Has the House taken any action?
So last session, the House did take action. We extended the board for 2 years on the House side, but none of these bills have made it to the floor. So what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do is negotiate with our governor and the senators that are behind this action to at least try to delay the vote, and let's see about coming to a compromise to at least keep the institutional knowledge of the Board of Trustees and keep some board members on currently to stay on through the presidential search. So this is not over. This is what I've been telling the students. We're not out of the woods. There's a lot of negotiating to be had between now and April.
Last question for you. Where are the Black civil rights groups? Who is out there standing with you? Is the state NAACP? Is the Urban League? Are you seeing outside groups rally to stand with Tennessee State?
Yes and no. This kind of has been, up until now, sort of an isolated Tennessee State University problem, but I have been in talking with leadership to talk about how we can amplify this not only just to the Nashville community, but also nationally, because we have alumni across the country. There is a Save TSU coalition that has been educating the local community. We brought Attorney Ben Crump here to talk about the legal ramifications and to get folks riled up. We've held rallies. So there has been some community support. NAACP has hosted events. The Equity Alliance, my organization, has been behind this. So there is community support, but absolutely, we need to be getting louder on this.
All right, and Senator Oliver, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Keep up the fight.
Thank you.